the land of Sri Krishna. Dwarika has commanded much attraction because this site is one of the 4 dhams, or the sacred place of pilgrimage of the Hindu religion. It is believed that this city was founded by Sri Krishna in the west coast of Gujarat. The modern city of Dwarika in Sanskrit means the gateway of heaven. Now, as all of you know that Lord Krishna was born in Mathura and raised in Gokul. He killed his uncle Kans and coronated his grandfather Ugrasen as the king. Therefore now, Krishna lived in Mathura with his parents. But why he had to leave North India and settle in the far west coast of Gujarat is the question. Now, it so happened that Kans had decided to overthrow his father Ugrasen for the throne of Mathura. Therefore, upon the guidance of his chief counselor Chanur, Kansa got himself married to Asti and Prapti, the daughters of the mighty Jarasandha, the king of Magadh. Now, when Kans was killed by Krishna, both his wives Asti and Prapti went back to their father and conveyed the sad story of the demise of their beloved husband. Jarasandha grew furious and decided to avenge the death of his son-in-law by killing both Balram and Krishna. Jarasandha continuously began attacking Mathura. It became difficult for Ugrasen to sustain him. After several attacks, the Yadavs sought help of Krishna because they felt that the one who had rescued them from Kans will again save them from Jarasandha. As you know, that spy system is an effective medium of administration. Now news came floating that Jarasandha was joining hands with Kalyavan to burn down the entire city of Mathura. As soon as this news approached, Krishna sent his sister Subhadra to Hastinapur under the protection of his aunt Kunti. King Ugrasen along with his subjects were sent for the west coast. When Jarasandha and Kalyavan eventually came at the doorsteps of Mathura, they found a desolate city. No living soul was present. However, they thought they saw Krishna and Balram escape through one of the lanes. In the darkness, they were not sure it was him. But Kalyavan felt sure that he had seen the peacock feather of Krishna. He decided to follow Krishna, whereas Jarasandha burned down the entire city of Mathura into ashes. Kalyavan of course was killed, but that is another story due for some other time to discuss. Now, when Krishna reached the west coast of India, he found himself facing the entire ocean. Even though he was Narayan, or the living entity among all the living beings, he still prayed to the ocean god Varun to grant him some land for his kingdom. Lord Varun, the god of the oceans, agreed to grant him the land till his death. Then the oceans would take over what were rightfully their land. Krishna, satisfied, nodded in acceptance. Thus began the construction of Dwarika. According to the description presented in Harivamsa, Dwarika was squared like a chessboard. Nearby was the mountain range Raivataka, or the living place of the gods. On the order of Lord Krishna, the architect of the gods, Lord Vishwakarma, is said to have built this city in a span of a day. Its houses were arranged in lines and the city had palaces touching the sky. Dwaraka boasted 9 lakh palaces, all constructed with crystal and silver and splendorously decorated with huge emeralds. The furnishing were bedecked with gold and jewels. It is said that the sage Durvasa resided at Dwarika for a long time. Long after the Kurukshetra war, Gandhari's curse was fulfilled. The Yadav clan fought among themselves to the finish, just like the Kuru clan. Krishna was shot down by a hunter Jara at Prabhas. News of the tragedy at Prabhas reached Hastinapur. By the time Arjun arrived, Krishna's father Vasudev died of heartbreak. After wandering through the field of dead bodies, bathed in sea water, Arjuna finally spotted Krishna's corpse under the banyan tree. No sooner had Krishna's body been consigned to the flames than dark clouds covered the sky and torrential rains ran down the earth. The sea rose and began flooding the streets of Dwarika. Lord Varun had arrived to reclaim his land. The foundation of the city began to shake. The walls came crumbling down. It was like the day of the doom, Pralaya. Those of us who do not believe in mythology must listen to what the marine scientists say today. They feel that archaeological remains discovered 120 feet underwater in the Gulf of Cambay of the western coast of India could be over 9,000 years old. It is believed to predate the oldest known remains in the subcontinent by more than 5,000 years. Carbon dating on the debris recovered from the site, including beads, construction material, pottery, section of crumbled walls, human bones and teeth, put it at nearly 9,500 years old, making it older than the Sumerian civilizations by several thousand years. It is also said to be older than the Egyptian, Chinese or the Harappan civilization. Dwarika is mentioned in a number of texts, including the Mahabharata, the Bhagavad Gita, the Harivamsa, the Skanda Puran, the Vishnu Puran. Whatever has been traced underwater so far confirms the description given in these Vedic